this. All right, I got longtime friend here and special guest, gentleman by the name of Charles Chuck Santos from Chuck's Cookies. And we're going to have a candid conversation about what Chuck does and how he got into this business and, how you can best get in touch with him if you're interested in perhaps ordering some cookies or, find out if Chuck's going to be having any events or anything that's going to be taking place that you can participate in. And let me first start out by introducing Chuck Santos. What's up, Chuck?
Ryan, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey, nothing much, man. How you doing? Just want to rap to you a little bit about your new endeavor here, your new business that's coming up, and just kind of let people know, what you've been doing and what you plan on doing moving forward.
Mhm.
Um, and I know you got a lot going on, today. So we're gonna move forward with this interview and really get an idea as to where you are with Chuck's Cookies. And I want to start out by asking you, tell us about your business and what you do. Tell us a little bit about Chuck's Cookies and how it came about and what exactly you provide to customers that may want some cookies.
Just always had an interest in baking, and a lot of it came from my mother. My
Okay.
mother at home and baking cookies for us as kids. So it's always been my favorite sweet actually. Um,
Okay.
go to snack and learn how to as a kid because I love cookies so much, chocolate chip cookies so much. um, just to make them myself,
Mm,
So, and then, as I got older, going to high school and just continue to make them and beyond in my 20s and that kind of thing. Um, got married, had a family, just continued to bake. So whenever my kids needed something for school,
hmm
an event, that kind of thing, dad was always the one to bake, and right up to my son going to college.
mm,
um, Asking me to whenever I went to visit him, bring some cookies down for him and his teammates, that
okay.
kind of thing. So just always baked, always enjoyed doing that. And in the back of my mind, I've always thought about starting something, something small,
hmm
because it's just always been passionate for me too.
Mm.
A lot of times I'm sitting at home and just bored. I'll get up and get in the kitchen and grab a bowl and flour and all that kind of stuff and
So
start
it
putting
sounds
some
like this has
stuff
been a passion of yours for like 40 years, man. Because
for a
from
while. For a
huh?
while, yeah, yeah, for a long
Wow.
time, and
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
you know, so yeah, so definitely, and along the way, just people have always enjoyed the cookies that when I brought them to my son's school, my daughter's functions, and that kind of thing. So it just kind of I said, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna you know, try to start a little home business and see what happens.
Okay. So what made you transition from just cooking in your kitchen or in your basement or in your mother's house to, hey man, you know what? I think I can turn this into a business, man. I think I can really, get to the point where people are really going to be willing to actually pay for, some cookies. I mean, and when did you know? When did people start telling you, hey Chuck, man, these are really good, bro? You know what I mean? This is not just something where you're cooking for the local football team or, the PTA meeting. You could really do something with this. When did you discover that? Or when did you think you could possibly do something as far as a business is concerned?
You know what? Probably about 10 years ago.
Mm.
Um, the idea was there in the back of
Oh,
my
so it's been
mind.
growing for 10 years. Okay.
And and whenever I would and what I would do too is I would always bake and sometimes um, make cookies for family and friends
hmm
like during Christmas time. You know, during Christmas time and sometimes being at work having Christmas parties or functions, and I would make cookies and then it got to the point where people were asking me, you know, uh, um, um, you know, do you sell them? Are can you make them for my daughter's 7-year-old birthday party? That's happened to me a few times.
Yeah.
So the idea has been there, in the back of my mind, and like I said, just decided to go for it.
Okay. Chuck, one. All right, Chuck, next question. Um, who's your ideal customer? In other words, who is the person that when you go to sell cookies and you think to yourself, okay, I'm selling it to this particular individual? Or do you have an ideal customer? Because a lot of times people think in a business they sell to everybody, okay? When in fact, you may be looking at people who are part of sports teams or people who own a restaurant or, you know, the local PTA or whatever the case might be. You might have that as, okay, that's my target audience. Those are the people I'm really selling to. And are you looking for people who are trying to buy bulk? Are you looking for people who are looking for, online orders or, who is your ideal customer, if you could describe that?
I think right now, I think it's always been, um, you know, going back when I first started making them and bringing them into my son and daughter's school, and you know, the kids,
Okay.
kids, moms. Um, and I say that because moms have come to me and besides giving and baking cookies for athletes or for kids and that kind of thing, to
Hmm.
to you know to also bake for parties, like you said, birthday parties,
Okay.
uh, for different functions. So I think it's for um, the first thing that comes to mind is moms, it's kids and that kind of thing. But I know a lot of people do like you know homemade,
Hmm.
passionate
Absolutely.
with love, getting in the kitchen and you know families sharing cookies.
Okay.
So
So let me ask you this. Do you mostly like cater events, or is it something where you're selling cookies individually, like in a bag, or are you actually selling the cookies to, let's say, your local store, wholesale as well? Is that something that you do?
I think it's right now remains to be seen.
Okay.
I think as of right now, it's as I'm just starting out. Um, it's selling them by the half dozen, the dozen.
Okay.
Uh, People have been putting in orders in regards to wanting cookies that way individually.
Hmm.
I think I'm open to, as time goes on, to kind of see where it goes and um, continues to grow, opening the door for a different market in regards to um, people ordering them online,
Yep.
people outside of you know uh, Rhode Island, which is where I'm from. Um, Being able to send people the type of cookies that I'm making by mail,
Hmm.
you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, I've had some people approach me in regards to their own small businesses,
Hmm.
trying out my cookies. So that's always a possibility too, getting them in stores or getting them in small restaurants like delis and that kind of thing.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
So
and
it's
kind of we'll see what happens. I'm
okay.
starting out small,
Yeah. And that's what
trying to
most
make it
businesses do.
home
Most people kind of test it out to see, what the people want, you
and
know.
see what direction it heads in.
Exactly, exactly. Let the business kind of do its own thing. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
as opposed to saying, well, I'm just going to sell to this particular group. Because you might
Right.
find that there's one specific group like kids that love, your oatmeal raisin cookies. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
can't get
Yep.
enough. And by the way, I've tried them and they're absolutely fantastic. I'm just gonna let you
Appreciate that. Appreciate
know.
that.
And I love the rest of them, but give me
Yeah. Yeah.
my dozen when I come into Rhode Island. I'll be getting my dozen when I come in there.
I got you.
Oatmeal
I
raisin.
got you.
All right, brother. But anyway, and also remember, I'll be able to order them too, so I'll be doing it that way as well. But
Okay.
but yeah, but it sounds to me like you're saying you do a little catering. You know, you're going to be selling them. Retail individually.
Mhm.
People putting in orders. You may have some online business going on where you're going to be
Yeah.
people are able to order cookies, and you may work with local businesses as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
that's
Right.
what it sounds like. All right, cool,
Yep.
cool. Sounds good. Sounds good. Um, just a few more questions, Chuck. I'm enjoying the interview so far, and I know it's a lot of probing questions here, but we're just trying to give the audience an understanding as to what your business is all about, how they can get in touch
Absolutely.
with you. You know what I mean, and why you're passionate about this, because people love to hear success stories, and they love to hear people that are passionate about what they do. And I know, and I've known this for 40 years. Chuck and his cookies. Me and your boy, your cousin Chuck, we were talking about that one day. We were saying, yeah, Chuck's always been a cook. I just remember 40 years ago, maybe talking about it. You know,
Yeah, that's
you know.
true.
But all right. So I just got a couple more questions, and then we can wrap this up. So, what are some of the biggest challenges you faced since you decided to really, build the business structure and, get to the point where you got to do all that involves with the licensing and the preparation and all that? What are some of the biggest challenges you faced so far?
Um, you know what? With just making sure that I stick to a routine, right?
Okay.
Developing a weekly routine on
Consistency is the king.
how I want my
Consistency is,
business to
is, is
run.
the key. Yep. You're absolutely right.
You
Yep.
know, um, putting in so many hours a week. Um, what it looks like to start um, putting things together on Monday to where I'm having them delivered on
Hmm.
Friday and Saturday, and making sure I stick to that. Um, so that's first and foremost, and then just something that you and I have always talked about, and Brian, you've known me for a long time.
Absolutely.
We've known each other for a long time, and I've always been that that laid back individual.
Hmm.
You know, I'm not shy. I've
Hmm.
always been that laid back individual. So being comfortable enough to kind of put myself out there
Hmm.
with my business
Just like
and knowing
today.
that that's important for people to see me
Yep.
and for people to hear me talk about why I'm so passionate about doing what I'm doing. So
Yes.
probably those are the two biggest things.
Okay, good, good. Well, today's a good start, man. You're doing a great job of, being able to answer the questions, and just having an understanding as to, what people want to know when it comes to, your new business.
Mhm.
Um, Let me just ask you a couple more questions, like I said, and we can wrap it up. What would you say makes your business different from other cookie companies? What would you say makes you unique? And what would you say when it comes to Chuck's cookies? That's the one thing that I would say, hey man, you know what? I'm gonna purchase this brand over this brand over here.
I think a lot of it has to do with the reason why we do things,
Okay.
our our why. Like why did I decide to bake to make cookies? Because it's something that I've always done, but why have I decided to kind of put that out there and try to start a little business and it's how sometimes doing what we do, how it makes you feel,
Hmm.
you know. Um, just remembering as a kid, being in the kitchen where my mom would bake, sharing
Hmm.
stories, growing up and laughing and you know, just looking forward to those cookies coming out the oven. It was
Hmm.
just centered around family,
Hmm.
family time. And I just have great memories about those times. So, a lot of it has to do with my mom.
Hmm.
You know, she passed away 4.5 years ago, but
Hmm.
I baked because of her. You know,
Hmm.
she took my hand, took me right in the kitchen. She baked and then said, "Hey, this is how you know, if you want to continue to bake and enjoy, I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to show you
Hmm.
how to bake." So." So today, I mean, she's my why. She's the reason why, and the feeling that I get, from getting in the kitchen and baking and kind of being a little old school, where you kind of bring it back to those, those evenings, those days where you're around family and you're you're cooking or you're baking, you know. Um, so kind of bringing that to the forefront, bringing that, you know,
And, and I just want to say, Chuck, that I've tasted your cookies, and I taste the passion. I tasted the why. You know what I'm saying? And it makes a difference when you care about a product or service that you're giving
absolutely
people. You know what I'm saying? It's not just mass production. You're actually
right.
sitting in there, and hoping that when people come back, they say, "Hey, Chuck, man, those cookies were off the chain." You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? That's the reaction you want. You get
Right.
what I'm saying? What you
Yep.
don't get, and like you said, that's reflected or going back to the relationship that you had with mom. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And that you had with family and bringing all that piece together. And
Yeah.
and I honestly can tell you, bro, I'm feeling you on that.
Okay. Appreciate that, man.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
All right, Chuck. Couple more things, and we'll be out of here. How can people, learn more about, Chuck's Cookies or get in touch with you? And maybe do you got any social media handles right now? Because we got the website that's going to be coming up very soon, folks. And we,
Looking forward to the website
yeah,
too.
yeah,
I looking forward to the website, and I appreciate you for that.
yeah,
But yeah, Instagram,
yeah.
Facebook. I know a lot of what's going on now. Um, you know, obviously, through word of mouth, um, people getting together and enjoying them and passing that along. But social media, Instagram, Facebook. Um,
What are your
I've been
handles,
asked
Chuck? What are your handles on Facebook and just Chuck Santos?
Chuck Santos, Facebook,
Okay,
Chuck
okay.
Santos, Instagram.
What do you have
Uh,
there's no Instagram Chuck Santos as well. It's not
yep.
Chuck's Cookies.
No, no, not yet. But but
Okay,
but everything is gonna as we're talking, being developed and adding things to that too, so they
okay,
know that they're in the right place.
okay.
Uh, um, and recently was asked this past week, um, um, to set up a tent,
Hmm.
and kind of getting him out that way. At farmers markets, I've been asked to set up a tent where I have a co-worker who is developing a benefit for a 5K in the
Okay,
fall,
okay.
and has asked me to set up a tent
Yep.
for Chuck's Cookies, at her 5K benefit. Um, so things like that. So getting things out there like that, um, um, sitting down, being outside and at farmers markets, at different venues,
Yep.
um, where people can kind of see my logo, see me, um, taste my cookies,
Yep.
uh, and you know, making that connection with what I do, the passion with people from, that are outside.
Okay. You got any events coming up anytime soon that you want to promote? Or is there like a farmer's market that you plan on posting up at? Um,
There, well, the Winter Colts um, was was invited and talked about this on Tuesday, this past Tuesday.
okay.
Um, the 5K, the
Okay.
5K. So that's in the works right now. If that goes on this year, it's going to be in October. Um, if it doesn't happen in October, she's talking the spring.
Okay.
Um, so, based on how that's being put together, and once it is put together, she'll let me know. Um, and it's something where you guys can see me, and I'll let people know from the website,
Uh-huh.
from Instagram, from Facebook, when that happens, when that takes place.
Okay. And let me just tell you too, we will put the link. Is there going to be a telephone number that we can put in there? in the link
Yeah,
description?
yeah,
Okay,
yep.
'cause this is going to be going on your YouTube channel. Okay,
Okay,
upload this
yep.
up to your YouTube channel, and we just want to know. So your handles will be there. Chuck Santos for Facebook, Instagram. The website is coming very soon. Okay,
Hmm.
working on that as we speak. Also, there'll be a telephone number if you want to contact Chuck and get information as to how you can order cookies, or perhaps have Chuck come out to your business or to your event. He can cater an event. And is there any way we can get samples, Chuck, and check out what you any events where you're kind of doing something where we can kind of get a little taste as to what them the raisin, what oatmeal raisin, and what's the other one you had? Was it white macadamia?
Oatmeal raisin, white macadamia nut,
Yep,
chocolate chip,
yep.
and chocolate with the white chips.
Chocolate
Yep.
with the white chips. That's the other one. Now,
Yep.
let me just tell you, folks, I'm going to tell you. Chuck sent them to me, okay? Sent me a sample. And I think it took probably a couple of days to receive them, right? Now, keep in mind, I'm in Atlanta, Chuck's in Providence. By the time they got here, they were still fresh. You know what I mean? I ate them like probably about 4 or 5 days after they had already been baked, from the time I got them and the time I had a chance. Still delicious. And I don't think they lasted 2 days, Chuck. I'm gonna tell you right now. You see, I try to do two a day. It rolled into four a day because it was two in a pack. So they gave me, I believe, 8 cookies. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. 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 Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was tough. It was tough. So within 2 days, maybe a day and a half, I think by the
I
second
hear you.
day they were done. And like I said, my favorite is the oatmeal raisin, but I also
Mhm.
like those chocolate with the white chips in it.
Okay.
Yeah. But is there anything else, Chuck, that you want to add?
Uh, no, just other than I'm ready. You know,
Okay.
um, start taking orders.
Okay.
Over the last week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And things are moving.
Okay.
It's moving.
All right.
So
And like I said,
definitely
we will have that website up pretty soon, but you don't have to wait until then. You can
right.
contact Chuck either through Facebook, Instagram, or the telephone number that's going to be in the description if you want to go ahead and get started. All right.
Absolutely, man.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Well, my brother, I appreciate you taking the time to do this interview. I like to talk to local business owners of people that either back in my hometown of Providence, Rhode Island, or perhaps here in Atlanta. This is something I'm going to do. I just did 2 interviews today. Something I'm going to probably do just about every week. Okay, because I want to be able to showcase businesses,
Mhm.
allow them to tell people about what it is that they do, the product or service that they offer, and so that people have an idea. Like you don't have to ask questions. You know what I'm saying? You know exactly how to get in touch with them, what they offer, why they do what they do, their passion, and so forth. So, Chuck, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to speak to us today. Wish you the best, my brother, and talk to you real soon.
You as well, my brother. Appreciate you.
All right.
All right, partner.
All right. Take it easy, partner.